Welcome to Banksy's Kitchen. Tonight we're going to do chicken Neptune. That's what I call it. Some people call it chicken pescatore or a heap of other things. But what we're going to use is chicken breast, a couple of those, some scallops. If you can get nice fresh Australian scallops, use them. These are half shell scallops. That's all I could get. Prawn meat, again Australian. I always use Australian prawns. They didn't have any prawn cutlets in the shop, so I had to get black tiger prawns and just peel them myself. If they get a bit black, don't worry about it. They're still fine to eat. It's just once they thaw out, after a day or two, they can become black. And black mussels. Now, the mussels I bought, I didn't realise at the time, they're blanched already. So normally I'd buy raw, and the mussel would be like that. I'll do a bit of a close-up. There's a beard. That beard, you need to take it out. You just pull that out, and then when the mussel's cooked, it opens up. All right, white sauce, which we made the other day, and some cream, a splash of white wine, and some Parmesan cheese. All right, we'll get all this together and we'll continue on. Okay, so to prepare a chicken breast, that's it there. Take the tenderloins off, because you can use those for something else. It's otherwise way too big. Now you'll notice it's thin at this end. You don't want to cook it like that because this will be raw, this will be dry. There's no fat in chicken breast, so it tends to be dry. So what I do is I just tap it out slightly. So I want them to be a similar thickness. So like that, and it'll cook even now. That's one option. The other option is get a knife, butterfly it open. I prefer this option. So this is the way we're going to do it. So we'll tap these out. That's done. And so see, they're pretty much the same thickness right across. And we'll start cooking. Alrighty, so I've got the pan on and I've heated the oil. I've put maybe 2 tablespoons of oil in there. And I'm just going to turn it down a bit. Once the pan's hot, I'm going to turn it down. I'll drop the chicken breasts in. Now, these you don't want to cook on a high heat because you don't want colour. You want to have as minimal colour as possible, because if you make these dark and the pan burns, when you put your seafood in, the sauce is going to be black. So therefore, we just put these in, turn the heat down and let them cook gently. Because I want to cook everything in the same pot, so you don't need to use another pan. However, if we do end up with colour, don't despair, because just take them out, put them on a plate, quickly clean the pan, then start the sauce, then add the chicken at the end. But we'll try and do it all in the one pan. All right, we'll let this cook away and then we'll get back to you. Alrighty, that chicken's been going, I put a lid on it. It's been going for about 8 minutes. So, to check if it's cooked, just break it open a little. You can see it's just pink inside. That's enough. Because what'll happen now, that'll continue cooking. When you put it in the sauce, it will cook a little more as well. So we could probably use that pan because it's not too dark, but I'm going to wash it, quickly rinse it, and use a fresh pan. Give that pan a quick rinse, and I've put a couple of tablespoons of butter, or maybe 1 tablespoon of butter in the pan. I'm going to put the scallops first because the prawns don't take long to cook and the mussels are already cooked. If you're using raw mussel, you'd put the mussels in first. Right, so we just let that cook up a little. Don't overcook the scallops. So all you're looking for is that they just start to swell a little and they're ready. But we're not going to wait that long before we put the prawns in because they'll be overcooked. So just a little, then the prawns. Now you probably need about, 4 to 5 prawns per person. But because they were small and I had, I'm a pig, I love prawns, Australian prawns especially. So I put more. So they're cooking up nicely. The heat's probably on about 3/4. The trick with seafood, don't overcook it. That is the trick. Just especially these tigers, they can be a little bit tough when they're cooked if they're cooked too much. So that's right. Now the mussels. Just going to chuck them in with the shell. The shell will probably come off anyway. A splash of white wine, maybe 10 or 15 mil, something like that. Your white sauce, oh, maybe a couple of tablespoons, 2 or 3 tablespoons of the white sauce. Stir it around. And don't worry, because this will continue to cook the seafood once the sauce heats up. So I'm just going to heat that up and then we'll come back to you. So that's cooked up nicely. I'm going to put the chicken back in. And give that maybe a minute. $30 seconds maybe. Spring onion for colour. A little bit of cream. Maybe 20 mils. And then just so that it thickens up, because that's quite runny, we're going to put some Parmesan cheese. So it's probably about a teaspoon, but you can work it out. Just stir, and if it's thick enough, there's enough in it. So I think that's pretty good. All right, we'll get ready to dish this up and you can have a look. All right, so a little bit of broccoli on the plate, broccolini. You put potatoes as well, whatever you like. Chicken. There's some of the seafood on top. Oh, look at that. There's a couple of shells for decoration. You use the raw mussels. The mussels normally stay in it. So, like that. A little more sauce. There you have it, chicken Neptune. Put a little bit of spud on that side and voila.